Hello everyone, I'm Kiki and this is my life. So I know there's a lot of videos out there like this. I wanted to make a video myself because I just graduated this past May from college. I know there's a lot of freshmen out there. There's a lot of people just wanting college advice. Disclaimer, I am not a counselor or in any fashion that way. This is just my advice from my experiences. I also looked on Pinterest just to spark some ideas, spark my experiences. And before we get into this video, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel to be a part of this wonderful ʻOhana, and follow my Instagram. Let's just get started. So essentially how I'm going to break down this video is it's going to be before college, during college, and after college. Let's get into before college. You want to make sure that you have scholarships, you have grants. College can be very financially dreading. Education was very important for us. Straight out of high school I went to college. My parents were always sticklers for, you know, getting scholarships and grants. I really recommend applying for FAFSA because usually you get free money out of it. It is more of a grant. It's different than a scholarship. Scholarships are more so, yes, you are awarded money, but sometimes you might have to do something in return, like community service, which is mostly what my scholarships was about. Usually when you apply for scholarships, you have to get recommendation letters from professional people, so like teachers, faculty from high school. In high school you want to make sure that you have those connections, and then scholarships might ask for GPA, so make sure you're consistent with that in high school. Make sure you're on top of it in high school. The process is very long sometimes, especially when you're applying for FAFSA. FAFSA is very long. You have to make sure you have like all your income, all of your parents' income, and like federal taxes and whatnot. Like there's so much that goes into FAFSA. Even though it's a long process, you can get something really good in return based on your parents' income or expected income. It really varies on how much you get going into college and what college you're going into as well. So there's such a long process to FAFSA. You guys can look up videos for that. Maybe I'll include some down below. I went straight into college, as you guys know, and I actually attended a community college. For high school I went away, so I live on Kauai and I got into the school called Kamehameha Schools on Oahu. I did high school there. I went back home. A lot of people think that when you go to a school like that, because it's so prestigious, most people who graduate from there go to like a school in the States, for example like Washington, Oregon, or Texas or something like that. I decided to go to community college after because for me, I always had this mindset of it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you end. And then I eventually transferred over to a university. In that respect, I got what I wanted in the end. I actually graduated with a bachelor's at the university. First generation, very proud, very honored. It was just a very touching and heartwarming thing for me to graduate from a university. I would recommend to go to a community college first to get all your general courses out, so that when you do transfer to a university that you have those out of the way, because you want to focus on what you want to do as a career. It gets really difficult talking about courses and talking about classes and talking about majors and all that jazz. I'll try and find a video that correlates to what I'm talking about. I just recommend going to community college back at your hometown, or you can go away to community college. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure you have family there, or make sure you have lodging, or you have somewhere to stay with a friend or whatnot. When you're looking for a community college, make sure you do your research. I always do research before doing anything new, and college is exciting, it's new. Community colleges is easier to apply, so that's why I recommend it as well. After going through so many years into community college and maybe getting your associates or maybe getting a certificate because of taking like so many different classes, you can find what you want to major in and go to a university and get that bachelor's, get that master's, get that doctorate, whatever you want. Go for it, girl. Go for it, guy, if you are a guy. My last point here is when you're thinking about college, do you want to do online versus do you want to be going to classes, like physically going to classes? For me, because I know that I cannot discipline myself well enough to do online classes, I will get lazy. I will get bored being home every day or going to a cafe every day. I can get distracted easily if I'm taking online classes and I'm going to Starbucks, because I'm just that way. And if you're that type of person, I recommend you take physical classes. That's just my recommendation for that. Let's move on to during college. First and foremost, recommend to study hard. Study to the best of your abilities, but not to the point where you will blow up, because you do need breaks. For studying, I recommend taking good notes, and there's a lot of videos out there that I can recommend. Link them down below. For taking good notes, you need good writing utensils, so highlighters is your best bet. Different colors, of course, and different colored pens. Having different colors and different highlighters will really exercise your mind. You will most likely remember that because it really popped out in your notes. Different color pens as well as the same concept. Anything very colorful in your notes will help you to exercise that mind and remember it better. When you do have reading assignments, do it, because sometimes they'll be picked on in class. Not saying that's a bad thing. They're doing that just so you know what is going on in the class. You should be doing your reading anyways. As I mentioned earlier, college can be very financially draining. I recommend you rent textbooks or you buy textbooks online, because it might be cheaper than buying it at your campus bookstore. For my last point for studying hard is review your notes after class. Usually you retain better when you're reviewing notes after class versus waiting later on and reviewing your notes before class. The information will hold better, it'll stick better. Also, I recommend reviewing it again before you go to sleep. I know it might be tough, it might be hard to discipline yourself to do that, but I do recommend doing that because you also retain notes better, or you retain any information that you're doing before you go to sleep, because you can sleep on it. During college, you also want to be doing some internships. You also want to be joining some clubs, just for the social aspect of it. And for the internships part is for the after college. You want to make sure you're trying to get into as much internships as you can, but make sure you know you balance that out as well as you can with life. Sometimes internships can be classes, which is for my case, I did do a class internship and it counted as a course. Look into it, do your research, talk to your teachers, talk to the counselors at your school, find good internships that will help you for your future, help you for your career. You're always wanting to think about your future. Sometimes it may be difficult to think about the future, but try your best. Clubs is just for the social aspect of it, and then also you might find something that you've been wanting to do and something might spark your interest. For me, I did dance club, and there's so many other clubs. There's social studies club, there's a history club, there's so many clubs at your campus that you don't even know about. So keep an eye on it during the first week. I don't know if your college does that. At Hilo, for the first week they did tabling, and so there was a bunch of tables that were clubs. There was other services like counseling services. They had it throughout the week so that they could provide those services and also advertise what they're all about. Advertise just the services you have on campus. It's a good way to make friends, a good way to truly find what you love to do. My last point is to take care of yourself. College can be overwhelming. There's a lot of parties, there's a lot of drinking, there's a lot of socializing, there's just a lot going on. Another way you could take care of yourself is having a planner. First of all, planners are good for time management. It just keeps you on schedule. You have everything organized. When you have too much dates, too much deadlines, and too much projects and too much just important dates going on in your mind, it can get a little jumbling, it can get a little bit confusing, and then you're gonna blow up. So planners are a good idea to get it down. Don't be afraid to seek help if you need. In my last year of college, it was very difficult because I was so anxious that it was my last year of college, and it really meant a lot for me. Boy drama as well, that's a whole different thing. Don't get yourself involved with boys unless you really know he's the one. I seeked help. I went to a counselor and it was the best thing ever. I felt comforted. I felt I had somebody to talk to. This was professional help, and professional help is different from talking to your friends. Getting professional help is better in case it might turn into something bigger. Don't want to get to that point. So seek help if you need it. And that's it for the during college. After college, It was so hard after college, let me just tell you, and it's different for many people. For me, after college was kind of hard because I was going through a lot of things this year, especially getting married to my husband and having a job, going to school. There was just a lot of things going on and I didn't really prepare for the end of it. Make sure that you're already looking for a job in your senior year, you're already trying to make connections, network and whatnot. Just make sure that you just keep going, keep striving for what you want to do in the future. Just push for it, land that job. I did go on like 5 or 6 interviews and never got any job offers, but that didn't let me get down. Actually, my friend reached out to me saying that there was this part-time job, and so I did an interview and actually got the job. So I'm very proud of me for doing that. Even though you get knocked down 10 times, get back up. When landing a job, you need formal clothing. I'm not really an expert on formal clothing for job interviews. I really recommend not going for busy colors and really sticking to light colors, or maybe even a dark color like blue, but not necessarily the shirt. Maybe something like long sleeve. Actually, let me show you what I have. Depending on what kind of job you're trying to get will depend on what kind of formal clothes that you get. For me, a lot of the interviews that I went to wasn't really super formal, so I have this one formal uniform that I have that I wear to like mostly all my interviews that I go to. It's just this long sleeve collared shirt with some pockets, and then I also have a cami underneath because it's kind of see-through. It's just this dark blue color. You can go for like a brown color, you can go for white. Make it very basic. And then I have just these slacks right here. Both of these items are from Macy's. Make sure that you iron them, make sure there's no like pet hair or anything. For shoes, I actually have 2 pairs of shoes. One that's flat shoes. They're these shoes right here. I actually got these from Jeans Warehouse. They're these just pointed toed flat shoes. Very simple. You want to go for simple, you can even go for brown, go for a nude color, just something that will match your whole outfit because first impression. And then I have just this small heel right here, not very flashy, from Macy's, and has that cushion as well, which is great. And those are my 2 types of shoes that I switch between for my job interviews. Just some last tips, last advice. I recommend not taking out any loans if you really need to take out loans because you're struggling that hard with your financials. Then take out loans, but only take out what you need. A lot of people don't know this. People think that you can't take out like specified number of loans. I made sure I went to the financial aid office on my campus, but I only took out what I needed, so I don't have to pay back as much when it comes to the ending of college and it comes to the ending of your grace period. Yeah, that's about it. If you guys have any questions or you guys want any advice on any other college stuff, or you guys want to see this as a series, please let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel to be a part of this wonderful ohana. Follow my Instagram as well as my husband's, as well as my dog's Instagram. Why not? Share aloha, give aloha, ahui ho. Shoot.